One of the best B&M hypercoasters in my opinion is Goliath at Six Flags over Georgia. This is the largest coaster in the park. You have a height of 200 feet, a drop of 175 feet, over 4,000 feet of track, top speed of 70 miles per hour, and lots of airtime hills. This ride is a big crowd pleaser. On top of being high capacity, it's iconic for the park because it actually swoops over where you have to go to park. So you're driving under the coaster and it goes out over the front entrance. So you can't miss it as you're going in. So it really is that staple attraction. And in general, it really has quite a different layout than your average hypercoaster. Most of these big B&Ms have an L-shaped layout. This one is almost like a box type layout. It also has this crazy 540-degree helix about halfway. That is a pretty intense moment. It's almost a guaranteed gray out every single time. But these rides, they're all about the airtime, so you are gonna get tons of air. It's all floater airtime. Although you do have this little bunny hop towards the end. It's a very small, abrupt airtime hill. I'd say it's almost a bit of ejector there. It's kind of a random moment because it's right at the end of the ride, and you don't really see something like that on most of these B&M hypercoasters. So that was a moment that surprised me. Most of these airtime hills are very large and imposing. Whether you're sitting in the front seat or the back seat, you're guaranteed to get some big air. And interestingly enough, this isn't one of the largest hypercoasters either. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, its max height is only 200 feet. So it barely hits the hypercoaster requirement. Its drop is 175 feet, but I really like all of the elements with this ride. It's pretty smooth. I think depending on the time of year or which train you get, you might be able to detect a rattle, but it's not as noticeable as some other B&Ms I've ridden. So for the most part, you are getting a smooth ride. If there are some downsides to this ride, it doesn't really have a theme. Its name is Goliath. Like, how basic can you get? It goes out over a parking lot, so its setting isn't exactly great. And I gotta be honest, I think the coaster's pretty ugly. I do not like the colors that Six Flags chose for this ride. I think it's very bland. I would have liked to have seen something else. But in general, this is a really good ride. This is probably one of my favorite B&M hypers. I'd say probably top 3 or 4. So definitely do not miss this if you are at Six Flags over Georgia. This was actually my 300th coaster, so it's pretty cool to be able to say that. I do like this ride. It is fun. So for its final score, I'm going to give it a 9. It's a solid ride. You're likely really going to enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's anything mind-blowing, but having ridden every single B&M hypercoaster in America, it's easy to see how similar they are and how they almost all start to blend together. So it's nice to see one like this that is a bit different. I think most of that goes for the layout. I think that's probably one of the strongest things about this ride. But those are just some of my thoughts on Goliath at Six Flags over Georgia. But I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this ride? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? You can leave all those thoughts below. And of course, stay tuned for more coaster reviews. I have them all available in a playlist organized by alphabetical order. So be sure to check that out, and I'll catch you guys later.